We're in Windows Server 2016. Let's take a look at how we can add a second scope. So we have our first scope at 192.168.15, which is our internal subnet. But let's say we have a VPN connection to another site, which would be called a site-to-site VPN tunnel, and we want to serve up DHCP to those folks as well. So we can create a second scope for that. So let's go to IP version 4, and we can choose New Scope, and click Next, and we'll just say Remote Office. Click Next, and we know that that remote office is 192.168.20, and we'll just give it the 100 to 200 range because we have static IP addresses in other parts of that range, and we can go 1 through 254. We know our subnet mask length is 24, so let's go ahead and click Next. And we don't have any exclusions, so let's go ahead and skip that. I have another video on that if you want to know what that means. Let's leave our lease duration at 8 days and configure our options now. So we have a router gateway of 192.168.20.1. We know that that's our firewall. And we're going to leave our DNS server information as is. Go ahead and click Next. We'll skip the Win server because we don't have one. Those are old-fashioned. And we'll say we want to activate the scope now. Let's go ahead and click Finish. And you see now we have two different scopes. One starts at 20 and one starts at 15. So what you have to do at the remote office is you have to set up what's called a DHCP or IP helper, depending on whether you use a server or whether you use a router or switch. It's also called a relay agent as well in Windows Server. And you point it to our server IP address here, which is, we'll go ahead and go here and type ipconfig, and it's .12, 15.12. So in the server and the switch, or the switch in the other office, or the router, then what you want to do is set up the DHCP relay or IP helper address to be this address. And then anytime anybody needs an IP address at the remote office, it will go across the VPN tunnel or the MPLS, whatever it is that you have, and it will grab from the scope that you see here at the .20 address.